Now, you know, it's funny. Wade had alluded to Battle L.A.
Yes.
Now, Wade, explain to the good folks why there's a weird disconnect in the title. Like somehow the studio couldn't get it together with even the title.
Somehow, look, we're all accustomed to the weird little letter and the letter and number abbreviations we've gotten on movies ever since Terminator 2, which was nicknamed T2, and then Independence Day was ID4, right? And we've gotten a lot of these. Like the last Harry Potter was what, HP 6.5 or something like that. So it's like operating system software for a Hewlett-Packard now with the Harry Potter series. What we get here now is on television commercials. It's advertised as Battle: LA.
Everywhere, print.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Battle: LA. You watch the movie and the title comes up. It just says Battle Los Angeles. No colon, no LA, just Battle Los Angeles. What is it?
Just decide already. You guys make so much money. You know?
What is it?
It's funny because, you know, we complain that...
It may sound trivial, but there's a copyright somewhere for a title. I want to know what that title is.
See, right there in the one sheet, it says Battle: LA. You see the movie, it says Battle Los Angeles.
That's it.
So that's just one thing that they just don't get right in this movie.
Yeah, well,
Battle Los Angeles, if you don't already know, is an alien invasion film. It is very much in the vein of Aliens and Starship Troopers and District 9. By the way, Aliens, Starship Troopers, two films that I absolutely, hands down, love. I think those are the classics of the form, of which Battle... What are you scribbling?
Just notes. Notes that'll humiliate you, that'll shame you, that'll make me look so much smarter than you, you won't believe it. So I'm going to hide them from you.
That's impossible. So in the film, Aaron Eckhart leads a group of Marines who have come to Los Angeles to battle these aliens who come to Earth to basically conquer the Earth. It is a war film, and in the movie, what they do is, it's not one of those films where there are phone calls to the president. Mr. President, we have to kill the aliens now. Go to DEFCON 1. The movie is just about this tight group of Marines, and what they need to do is they are stationed in Santa Monica, and they need to go to the Santa Monica police station to extract these civilians who are trapped there because the aliens have overrun the city, and they need to...
Sorry.
And they need to get the civilians, extract them from the Santa Monica Police Department, and bring them back to the forward operating base. Now let's take a look at a clip, and then we'll tell you what we thought of the movie.
Just a dog.
Wait. Oh, just a little doggy. Come here.
It's just a dog.
Dog. What's his name, huh? Glenn. Oh, you kidding me? Who's the idiot naming dogs these days, Lieutenant?
What do you want to call him, Fido?
Watch your head! Left flag on the roof! Watch your head! Fuck it! Yes! Give me an exit down that alley! Sergeant! Curve! Fuck that! Where did they come from?
What do you see? I don't know, man.
What's going on?
How do we get out of here? Lieutenant, where's the exit at? We're boxed in. Let's take a position by the wall. Go! Move out! Ambush! Come on!
So the opening of the film, quickly and poorly, establishes each of these Marines. There's, of course, the African-American, and there's the Hispanic.
There's a couple of them.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah.
There's the Hispanic, there's the troubled veteran, and it's all kind of, it's all done very quick. And, you know, in the end, we're not going to care anyway. Just get them out there to just fight the aliens. And then once they actually leave, it's nonstop, wall-to-wall action to the point where it's basically like watching somebody else play a video game. That's the movie. It's like a first-person shooter. And there's so much action in the film that, in a way, it sort of becomes numbing. And there's no humor in it. There's no surprises in it. It is all cliched. It is a lousy script. And I think that it was a very calculated, effort here to make this thing so hoorah that it's essentially a recruitment film. Because this is the type of movie that the studio feels will be great for anybody who sheds a tear whenever a bunch of Marines give an inspirational speech and yell hoorah. So the script, which is written by a guy named Chris Bertolini, who wrote The General's Daughter, his last produced
12 years ago.
Was 12 years ago.
Yeah.
This thing is just a mess. And you know what? The dialogue is very rudimentary. The characters are completely non-existent. And it's essentially 90 minutes of just non-stop action, but that's not necessarily a good thing, is it, Wade?
Well, no, look, you talked about aliens earlier, and there's a lot you can learn from Aliens. The things that Jim Cameron does right in Aliens, and I still think Aliens is one of his best films. It is, right? Yeah. The thing he does, he lets the set pieces, he spaces them out so the audience has time to breathe. Because you amp somebody up a little bit, and then there's a lull. Okay, we've gotten them, now what? And suspense builds in those lulls. And then you have another set piece, and then there's a lull. And there's a rhythm to that good action films use to their advantage, because you also use that to develop the story, to develop the characters. So you're doing a lot of things at once. This doesn't do any of that. There are no lulls here. There's like one moment of like a huge 15-minute lull when nothing's going on. I think it's nighttime and they're at the Santa Monica airport or whatever it is, and nothing's going on. But nothing is going on. There's no suspense. There's no character development. There's nothing. They're just sitting around. And I think the film misses all of those elements that you normally use to make a good action film. But again, there's nothing there, like you pointed out. I think the real model here is Independence Day and War of the Worlds, both of which are better films. Both War of the Worlds, in fact, and even Earth versus the Flying Saucers, if we want to go all the way back to that. It's an interesting conceit to try and do this kind of a film strictly from the point of view of a platoon, where you never leave their side, where you really don't even get a glimpse of the aliens for about a good half hour, 40 minutes, where there's a slow reveal. But then again, we never learn anything about them. We never learn about why they came. There's nothing illuminating about it. My biggest beef with this, and by the way, the film was produced by Neil Moritz. Have you ever seen Neil Moritz's name on a movie? Crap. Neil Moritz, right, the XXX films and the Fast and the Furious films and Cruel Intentions, it's all junk. The guy he produces like 25 million films a year, and it's all junk. So that's your first beacon to not go to this movie. But the PG-13 here, let's talk about this, because you said, well, it's like a recruitment film. Now, the King's Speech was rated R because there's one scene where Colin Firth drops a few F-bombs in what is essentially a very humorous and therapeutic moment. Let's say you got a 12-year-old daughter. What movie do you take her to? Is she going to be more scarred by Colin Firth dropping a few F-bombs, or by this allegedly more suitable PG-13 movie that is non-stop wall-to-wall action, in which there's a scene where Aaron Eckhart rips a live alien's chest open and starts stabbing around until he finally hits the gusher and all the goop of this thing's heart billows all over his face? Is that more appropriate for your sensitive 12-year-old daughter?
You know, this movie really...
I don't think so.
That language wasn't better for my 12-year-old daughter, the way you put it.
This, this movie really shows how horrible the MPAA is, because
it's appalling.
Battle LA is nothing but noise and explosions and intensity and aliens being ripped apart and scary things happening to kids. By the way, there's a couple children in the film.
Yeah.
There's children in peril. They're imperiled by the aliens. But somehow that's a PG-13. But you get a humanist story about a king who needs to overcome a stutter, and because the guy drops a couple F-bombs, he gets an R.
Crucial point. One is an independent film, one is a studio film. The MPAA, which controls the ratings board, is studio supported. There's a conflict of interest there. Second point, the Classification and Ratings Administration exists not to guide parents, but to keep the government happy, so that government censorship doesn't step in. How much happier can the government be than to have a film in which Burai Marines are fighting off aliens any way they can? That's going to play well in Washington, but it's not going to play well with parents, and that's what proves the hypocrisy of the MPAA and the CARA in this.
I actually think that the Marine aspect of it, the very patriotic, it's almost like patriot porn at the end.
It is.
Where they're giving these speeches, and it's actually it's such a blatant play for that audience.
Yeah.
They figure on the coast, they'll love the fact that LA's getting destroyed, and in Middle America, they'll love the fact that it's a recruitment film.
There again, even people who are saying, well, I don't care what these two hosers on TV are saying or on Stupid for Movies, forget them. It's just an action film. I'm going to go see an action film. I want to see LA get blown up. No, this is not Battle LA. This is Battle Shreveport. This thing was shot in Shreveport, Louisiana, okay? It was not shot in Los Angeles. So you don't get to see the Hollywood sign blown up. You don't see Man Chinese Theater blown up. You don't see any landmarks destroyed. The only recognizable landmark in it is like the sign over the West Los Angeles station of the LAPD, which no one is going to recognize unless you've driven past it. It's just a mock-up,
But that's
why I was laughing earlier when you said there's these Marines in Santa Monica. It's like,
But that's one of the disadvantages of having it
the whole
just
thing
be
takes place
about
in
this
Santa Monica.
platoon.
It's not even Battle LA. It's Battle Santa Monica and maybe a little bit of Battle West LA shot in Shreveport. It's terrible.
That's one of the disadvantages of having the film be surrounded just by this one platoon.
Yeah.
That you don't go outside Santa Monica. You're just with these guys. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no forward operating base in
No.
Hollywood. Disneyland doesn't get blown. You don't see
No.
that. It's not this movie.
I mean,
and
honestly,
that's a bad
how do
thing.
you make a movie called Battle LA and not understand that the crucial look? The reason Independence Day succeeded was because you saw everything recognizable get destroyed. You saw the White House blow up. Okay, nobody ever saw that before.
Because
there's something cinematic about those kinds of catastrophes.
No, but
how do you do a movie called Battle Los Angeles and not show the Hollywood sign or Disneyland getting wasted?
Because
how
those
do you
movies,
do that?
those movies have two completely different tones. One is a little more fun, a little bit cheesy, a little more humor with Will Smith.
Yeah.
Battle LA wants to be just a all-out action war film. It wants to be just a war film.
And it fails.
And it fails. So, okay, buy, rent, burn, Wade. What do you give it? I wonder.
Burn.
Well, we all knew that was going to happen.
Yes.
But did you know this was going to happen? I'm giving it a rent.
And why would that be, Mark?
Well, here's the thing. The movie is exceedingly dumb. There's no way around it. However, it is also fairly tense throughout. You're watching the film, and you're saying the dialogue is stupid. The aliens are very poorly designed.
Oh, they really are.
They're so busy, I don't even know what they're about. However, it held your attention. And you have to admit, it held your attention.
Barely. Barely.
But what I'm saying is that it is not a good movie. It is a dumb movie. But somehow, because it is so loud, and it is just built on action scene after action scene, loud after loud, explosion after explosion, it does hold your attention. I'm not saying it holds your interest.
Is that going to work?
I'm not saying it holds your interest. I'm saying it holds your attention.
Interesting distinction. Is that going to work on DVD or Blu-ray?
You know what? Here's where it would work on Blu-ray. If they did a lossless audio mix,
Perhaps.
where it just blew out your speakers. If it was a 7.1 full lossless audio deal, it could be a great Blu-ray. Not a great film, just a great Blu-ray.
What if it's monophonic?
It comes with its own record.
Yeah.
And a player. You got to put the needle and sync it up. It's fantastic.
Little
All right.
gramophone.
All right, so I say rent.
I say burn that sucker.
It really is a Brent. It's a burn rent. But you know what? I'll be controversial and say rent.
All right.